What is going on? Time to do some miscellaneous things. Alrighty. First thing to do, when the missile that's in the foreground shoots off the screen, spawn another missile back in the background, comes in at some angle, some position, some angle. Should it be relative to where the missile goes off screen? If it goes off this side, should it come in this side in the background? Like at an angle, should it come straight down? All good questions. Let's start with the simplest version of this though. When foreground missile successfully leaves screen, spawn another missile in the background at desired X position. At any X position, probably. And pointing down. Then on top of that, yeah, I don't really know what to do after that. Maybe make the X position based off something. Spawn background missile at X position based off of. Well, not really have an X position based off of a target, but also spawn same missile with a target to direct at something that sets the missile's direction. It'll have some other target. So let's take a look at that. Simplest thing would be to incorporate what's already part of, like a feature that's already there in the editor, in the editing tools. One is, oh no, it's part of phases anyway. So the missile test in phase only has one phase. What? Is that right? That can't be right. Oh, I changed the category. I'm an idiot. Okay. So let's grab this guy here. He has 4 phases. In the 4th phase, going off screen will spawn missile in background B, probably make another background missile. That seems reasonable. Either that or spawn the other one, but at a specific phase. Seems like it's simple enough just to make a new one. So I'm going to jump back to that background missile and duplicate it. Name it to B. Save it. Alright, so it won't have this property anymore. It'll have a different movement. It'll have a movement based on a target. Target direction. Direction adjustment speed. Right. I can set the target direction to something. Either that or have another movement type that is simple but also with a target, as in like a transform. It'll have a transform that it's supposed to be kind of aiming at. So all that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Very similar to the to follow player constant, except it won't be the player, right? This has kind of a lot of the same stuff. So what I can do is just update this one to just say follow anything, and then have a drop down of it being like, what are you following? Is it the player or is it something else? And if it's something else, put in like a game object name or something. It can't be a game object name. It can't be a transform. I could tag it. I could give it a tag. It's not really the best thing. I just don't want to mess with the tags, so maybe I'll just put something in here that will auto tag things. Or do I need to make tags? Is tags like a thing I have to make? It is. Can I make up a tag? Can you just make up any tag in Unity? Where's my Unity docs? Tag. Component.gameObject.tag. Set the tag. You should not set a tag from the awake or unvalidate. This is because the order in which components become awake is not necessary, therefore unexpected behavior. Unity will generate a warning ready. Send message cannot be called during awake. Tags must be declared before using them. I guess this is pretty clear here. Can I create my own dropdown for all tags? Can I get a list of tags? Right, can I make tag like a property? Let's see. Unity set tag as property in inspector. How to expose Unity tags in the inspector. Some forum. Getting the tag array. Just use an enum. Yeah. I could make my own. That's fair. How stupid would that be? Tag field. Tag field. Okay. That's apparently a thing. Selected tag. Alright, this could work. Is it in editor GUI layout as well? Tag field. Optional label. The tag the field shows by default. And that's it. It's basically a string field, but Yeah. It's basically the same as a string field, but it'll be a drop down of all tags. I'm okay with that. So, add tag. I don't even think we're using any of these. So let's go with, there'll always be tag to objects, but let's say single, and it'll be, boss one, main. There's a reason for that. And the order of these don't matter. Okay. So then I want to give things a tag in here. I can do that too. The main problem is just like managing the tags. Whatever. So I could do it here, or I could do it in the prefab. I guess I could do it in the prefab. Not this one. Hold on. This will end up being test busy man. And his prefab will have boss one main. Okay. So then really, if the player is tagged with player, then the missile could just have a target tag, and that's how it'll work. Is the player tagged as player? If not, why not? Why not do it? Untagged player, sure. Okay, that seems like a decent enough idea. All right, let's make it happen. So that's gonna go in the target, instead of, right. Where is that? Phase spawn data. Not phase spawn data. It's in the actual phase data. Under, well, no, it's movement data. Here. So instead of follow player, it's just going to be follow target. Okay. Oh, right, I should probably, because this is Visual Studio, if I do it this way, it will update all the references, hopefully. Sometimes it breaks. All right, so if I'm following a target, then I probably need a target. So let's add a target tag. It's just going to be nothing. Target tag. What? Tartet? Tartet. Nice. Okay. Getting past that, I'm going to want to apply it in the not phase spawn data drawer. Oh man, too many of these things. It's in Let me at least get to the editor window. Spawn, editor window, data drawer, movement editor window, no. I'll just go to object spawn editor window, and down here is where I'm editing movement stuff anyway. It might just all be inline. Yeah, it is, okay. So if follow target constant, then I need to know what the target is. Let me add that window here, GUI window. Go ahead and make a text, slider, float, v2, object, enum, color, curve. Edit unity tag. It'll have a string. Tag field. Like so. So edit tag target tag. It'll be phase data, movement data, movement data, target tag. And that'll go the same for here. Follow target constant, and also where's follow? I guess the other one was never set up. The follow target last position. Let's set something up for that. Window dot box. This these properties were not set up yet in object spawn. And we're gonna go message type and error. All right. So let's say it's here. Oh man, these properties were not set up. Okay. So target, I need a target tag. Right now it's nothing. Cool. An empty string would just yield this, and that's great. And maybe I'll do something like that just so that it does get selected. With phase data target tag dot length. Is less than 1? Sure. That'll have tags less than whatever. Is less than 1. Oh, so that's the invalid case. Oh, so that's the valid case. Same thing as before. Well, this error outbox. And so please select the valid tag on the list. I'm trying to think, like, how can I verify that, like if I go to edit the tags later, all this stuff will change? Like, that's the only huge downside to that. Because they're not like tag IDs, they're just strings. So they can never, ever change. Well, if they change, stuff's gonna break. And I guess that will hopefully make it apparent that that's what the issue is. I doubt it though. Okay, so now please select a valid tag from the list. So set a player, we're gonna go after single plus one main. And that's pretty much it. I'll have this max direction Y stuff to set to like 0.5, but I doubt that it'll be necessary. Oh wait, hold on. Min direction Y, like -1, because it could come straight down. Wait, does that make sense for min direction? Yeah, like it can't be less than -1. It'll never happen anyway. These don't matter. Adjustment speed. 1 is probably fine. We'll see. Alright, right now we're just going to spawn them like somewhere at the top. So let's go back to our other guy here. Missile in background A. And its movement is simple? Right, okay. That's not the one that's actually targeting the player. It's this guy. So it needs to target the player. And then all these properties are still the same. Cool. Let's see. Well, I have to implement that actually. So let's go to actually where the movement is. Data, phase data, game events can go away, spawn data can go away, level tracker, object spawner can go away, ship can go away, gun can go away, gun data can go away. Let's get the movement data script. So that'll be in game. No, it's not. It's object spawn movement. So that's in level. Okay. So all the way down here where we're doing follow target constant. So instead of player.get, we're just going to look for the game object itself, which I think is like game object. Find game object with tag. Right. Okay. So game object target object is find game object. Find game, because I do need the static method. Find game object with tag. Movement data dot target tag. And movement data is copied, so that's fine. That should be there. And only if we found it, right? If we didn't find it, skip over everything. If target exists, we're going to go ahead and do all this stuff. We're going to get rid of player position. This isn't really player position anymore. This is target position. Target position. Player.get is not a thing anymore. This will be target object. Nice. And then if it's not found, this is where we're gonna actually help us like if in case of errors, like the tag name changed or something. So this is going to basically be screaming at us. Cannot find target object. Name. Cannot find target object. Movement set to follow target constant. Tag is movement tag. Comma. Movement set to follow target constant. Tag is spits out the tag name, and then we would go investigate from there probably. Cool. All right, let's see if these missiles still even follow me. Let's see if there's anything like named player or some direction to player. Yeah, so let's just rename that to direction to target. That should relatively be the same. The only thing that's annoying is how slow this might be. I don't know. Find game object with tag. I could set a current target. Because I imagine it would just iterate over all the objects until it like compares tag names. That's probably slow. Alright, let's see what we got here. There it goes. Okay, they found me just fine. What we gotta do here. The shake is inconsistent. That's right, they come in from both sides. You have no skills, check the save data. Okay, save. You should. I never saved anything. Save file error, cannot access because it's being used by another process. So yeah, it seems like running the game, when it runs into an issue, it doesn't close the save data. It doesn't close the handle to the file. What just happened? Everything changed to today's date. I guess that's fine. They're unused files. That's really weird. Oh, I don't have skills. That's what it is. Okay. Thought it meant the guns. Yeah, now it's gone. Nice. And there it goes. So, just thinking whether the entry position should be relative to the exit position, but right now, I'll just make it all the same. So I gave Busyman the single boss one main, right? So let's see if they fly toward I'll have to spawn them in like somewhere in the far left or far right. I'll spawn them in like far left. See what happens. Well, actually, I'll do the far right. Just so I don't have to do that flip thing again. Just in case. So this will be this one, yes. And when it's in phase 4, no, phase 3, we're going to, when it goes off screen, it's going to spawn this. And its X position is going to be manually set. And it's going to be set to something like 8. Save that. And then this thing, this actual missile, its movement is going to be set to follow this guy. And we'll see how that goes. 0.1 in speed. Let's do something like 0.5. 0.5, yeah. So let's get this guy to go off screen. There it goes. And there it spawned, down here at the very bottom. I'm not really sure if it's targeting anything. It looks like it's just going straight up. Looks like it's not doing much of anything. So let's see if it's not spitting out an error that it can't find the target to follow. It could be that the positioning is like way off. Because it's an object in 3D in a totally different space. So if we look at Busy Man here, he is at 6.4 and 5. And our missile is at 8 and 7. It's actually really close. Those actually look like reasonably close. All right. In that case, let's find out why it's not following. Oh, the problem is all these other damn missiles. All right, let me just get rid of this thing for now and spawn something else. Instead, let's spawn this actual missile test. So there's only one of them. And that should be fine. Oh, damn. The problem is that I need that guy to be there too. So I'll just make him not shoot anything to begin with. Busy Man, don't do anything. What's a good way to disable weapons? What's a good way to disable weapons without having to delete it? Set it to a laser and then it just won't do anything, I think. Because none of these things are set. Or projectile, and the bullet's not set. And that'll be fine. And then he won't do anything. I'll update it again later. Okay, so he's there. My missile's here. It's gonna shoot off screen. Spawn another missile. Okay. Now we have our missile. Let's start debugging. It's the only thing on screen that could possibly hit this piece of code. Target object. What do we got? Busy Man. Found it. Target position. Good. 6.45. My position. 8 and 0.5. .5. Oh, on the Y. Yeah, that makes sense. Direction to target. All right. Follow is true. None of these are checked anyway. Difference on the x-axis, is it less than negative? It is. So we're going to adjust direction to the left, which is already facing all the way left. It's just not moving. Okay. And it's also in the y, so we're going to, it's above it in the y, so it's also going to be tilted up a little bit. Direction y plus. So now movement direction finally is negative 0.3, so a little bit to the left and all the way up. And then it has no max, it does have a max direction y, 0.5. Guess that's fine. And now the direction is, oh, so that didn't get hit. Oh, this is checking X. Never mind. So that's not going to update. There's no min direction X of 0. So direction X is always going to be 0. And then y is going to be 0.5. 0.5. Okay. Take direction, multiply by speed, and the amount to move is just straight up. Right, because the maximum x direction and minimum x direction are both 0. So it's not doing anything in the x direction. There's our problem. So let's go ahead and remove the breakpoint. Unpause, just kill the game. Let's go back to our missile and background, B, and max direction. It can go all the way to 1, and it can go all the way to -1 in the game. Guess. Now where did the missile go? Did it even spawn? I don't know, I don't think it did. What are these things? The object spawn events. How come these things aren't getting destroyed? I imagine there are scenarios where this thing goes off screen and the auto kill bounds kicks in before it can spawn anything, maybe. So let's see it happen. As soon as this yellow box is out of the screen, this object will be destroyed. But at the same time, so I should kill its auto kill bounds, actually. It doesn't need auto kill bounds. That's one thing. Okay, in the next frame, no new spawning thing got created. No new object spawner got created. It's fairly out of the screen. Okay, so something did get spawned here. So it was what I was thinking. So it's moving toward this position of where it thinks this thing is. It's not turning around or anything. just moving straight up. Okay. So what's happening again? Direction to target. All the way to the right, pretty much. Yeah. So direction.x should be increasing. So I think this is where I'm gonna run into this normalization issue, where I'm trying to decrease the values to get to the other side. However, the normalization is undoing that. A little bit on the y, but it's not within the range. So now my direction is right, negative 0.84. So I'm trying to get this thing to swing back into the positive. Right, so maybe I should have a target direction and a normalized direction. And the target direction is what's constantly updating. Something like that. Something like that. So watch, now this negative 0.8 is going to change. It's now negative 0.86, which I think is less than what it was. Did any of these values get hit? No, they didn't. Right, so just gonna move on to the next frame. We were at negative 0.86. We want to be at negative 0.84. However, after normalizing, again, it's killing us. So instead of normalizing, I'll just have to like range check it or something, which is what I'm doing here with these maxes and mins. And then I just need to make sure maybe I should normalize the move. I can't normalize the move. That's not any better. It's a good way to update the direction. What I could do is check the length. So instead of doing this, after everything is said and done, magnitude is greater than 1. That's what I want. See, with a 1 and a 1, the magnitude becomes the square root of 2, which is greater than 1. So I basically need to compress it's kind of like normalizing. but it'll only happen if it's trying to push past any specific boundary in the circle, the unit circle of possible directions. At least that's what my intuition tells me right now. One thing I don't like about this is a lot of like checking magnitude and normalizing. It just feels like it's a lot of work. Okay, that's not, I don't want that right now. Still working as expected. It's not speeding up or anything. Jump back out. Comes in, starts going to the left. 0.5 is pretty slow, it seems. It should start, yeah, so now it's kind of wiggling to the correct direction. Okay, that's a little better. And eventually it's gonna hit, or it'll probably bob up and down too. Yeah, trying to really get into that position. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now I want the missiles to, well, first of all, it's supposed to spawn from the top and rotate toward his direction. So let me just do rotate toward direction to be one of those things. So at least it looks correct. That was pretty lucky. Now he's actually rotating where he's going. So that's nice. That was very weird. I guess because of the threshold. The follow threshold. Yeah, it's gonna do some interesting stuff like that. Okay, so I could put the follow threshold in here, and I don't know why I don't. I really should. I think I will. Let's go to movement data here. Direction update speed to target speed, no, direction update speed, as well as follow target, follow threshold. This is actually a float. Target, follow threshold. And let's go to the editor window and add that in. Follow threshold. There. And then that's what we'll base it off of when we're actually in the movement. This won't just be some random values. 0.05 is what that one was supposed to be. Movement data. How many times am I going to reference the class? Target follow threshold. All right. And if this is 0, it's just going to always, this will always be true. -0, greater than 0. Unless we're right on the thing. So let me quickly go over here so this doesn't break. Oh. right? So fall threshold here, what did I have it at 0.05? And then missile in background B is going to have a fall threshold of 0. Let's do that again. So you can see, like, unless I move enough, it doesn't adjust its direction. I do that for a few reasons. I don't want it to be too jumpy. Oh man, I messed it up. I don't want it to be too jumpy, and I want the player to have like just a little extra room to get away from it. Shoots away. This guy comes in, and now he's set to always. I don't know why I don't adjust the speed. I'm just gonna have to watch this missile move so slow. Let's see it. It still didn't adjust its. Yeah, see, now the threshold is so small that it's wiggling back and forth very rapidly. And that's why the threshold exists. So I mean, I could set 0.01, and maybe it's not so bad. Why it's not adjusting until later? I guess because the x is over, like the x value is the difference in x doesn't change. It's just always to this side, so it's always going to try to go in this direction until it actually stops being to the, let's say, left of it from my perspective. And then as soon as it's not to the left of it anymore, then it uses all of it's probably trying to swing all the way back to the right instead, but ends up swinging back and forth and eventually like just goes straight up. So it's really get a good sense of where it is. I'll have to work on that. I'll put that in the to-do list. The object spawn movement, follow modify the follow script to more smoothly follow. More smoothly update direction. And hopefully I'll remember what that means. Right now, it's based off of whether the target is strictly less than or greater than self on the direction. So let me just bring this down. Okay. Spawn another missile at any X position and pointing down. Okay. So I want to spawn it at the top. Let's see. I think that's part of this thing here. In phase 3. Spawn it at a Y position of 0. See, that's when really the Y position type should also have a thing. Because I want the option to spawn at the top of the screen as well. So let's do something very similar. This is it. Oh yeah, it's in. Let's close this. I don't want to do. Whatever. I know where the top of the screen is. It is at 7.2. I believe. And we'll see if that's like outside of the screen. Oh man, I messed up the last one. Let me do the thing that I never do, which is update the speed of this thing. Where's the actual speed? 1. Let's go actually 3, 2 or something like that. It's 4 times 1, so that should be good. Goes. And it. So it started off with a positive speed. It started off with a positive speed, so it was going up, and then it came back down. Nice. So that looks good. So I'll spawn it a little higher. Well, first of all, its initial direction. Can I set an initial direction? It seems like I can't. I can set the speed to be negative, but that's just going to break everything. It's all going to be backwards. Base movement offset, no. Movement data, like initial direction, right? Like here I have direction. It's just doesn't, I guess it's not editable. Let's see. Yeah. Base movement offset, speed. Initial direction. Right. And rotating toward direction will we'll just do that. So initial direction will be 0x, -1, y. And maybe I'll be able to set that on spawn or something. There it goes, and there it goes. Boom. And that's where it should explode. Let's make it take a second to get in. How about that? And then I'll also remove the auto kill bounds from this missile thing. It has no auto kill bounds. Oh, and also on special on phase 3, spawn a thing. Let's spawn it at 7.4, and we'll do a thing like wait. Spawn after off screen for 1 second. There it goes. Nice. Okay. And it's just kind of following that guy around. That's cool. I'll have to set up a specific stream to do like the mapping of the 3D stuff in the background to the foreground and resolving collisions between the two as well. But I like the way that is set up so far. Alrighty. Now let's get the X position correct. So another option, instead of spawning at the top of the screen and coming in, well, I can kind of say like, if it went off screen to the left, sometimes it went off screen more to the left or more to the right. I can use its kind of trajectory, its direction when it goes off screen, to decide where to spawn or what direction the spawned object should have. Or what position the spawned object should have when it spawns. I'm not really sure which one is best. That's going to be difficult to do with this like weird editor tool that I created. Like, how can I make that very generic, right? Spawn based off direction. Like, calculate what position it should be. Either that, or I take like the exact position where it went off screen and use that in the background. But I don't like that either, because I want to assume that like maybe the missile went off screen and came back this way, right? So if it goes off here, then it comes in somewhere here. If it goes straight up here, then it comes in closer here. So maybe somehow mapping out that curve. Either that, or instead of spawning exactly, I was gonna say just let this, let the curve actually play out, let the missile actually do its thing, and then as soon as it attempts to re-enter the screen, spawn the other object instead. Either that, or spawn the object exactly at the position where the other missile went off screen. So if it went off over here, the other missile will be going in the same direction, same position, except it's a little faster, so it'll come back pretty quick and come over here. And if it spawns over here, it's going up, so it'll go up and come back down. That's not bad. Invalid operation exception, stack empty. That's interesting. You can't do a peek on a stack that's empty. Where is this happening? End window? Am I like breaking out of this loop? It's happening here. It's happening in this window. Begin layout group must be called first. Okay. End row, end block. And begin change check, and change check. That's not a thing. Scroll view, and scroll view. Begin block, end block. Begin block, end block. End window. This is gonna be way up here. And this just suddenly started happening. Maybe it's because of one of these things. Begin block, end block, space, label. Is it only happening when the special tab is selected? seems yes. Okay. That's good. Okay. So I do have just one begin block and end block, except for this draw, so it's probably in here then. Yeah, I did a couple of things here that I could see could break it. Begin row, end row. Begin row, end row. Edit float, help box, else if, do begin row, end row. And that's inside of this, so. Oh, and then there's a random end row. There it is. Yeah. That doesn't need to be there. Alright, let me grab a quick coffee refill, and then I'll get started on this next piece. What's up? All right. Oh yeah, that's hot. All right. There are 2 audio listeners in this scene. Again? Where's this coming from? There's not one there. There's one here. There's none there. Be nice if it could tell me where they are. Unless there's one on like a random object. source. Player, somehow? The player ship? Anything? Audio source? The backgrounds? Of course not. So I don't know, man. This is... what the hell? Maybe it's only when you're playing? Okay, so something got created, maybe? The busy man has an audio listener? Jesus. Okay. Why? Why do you have an audio listener, busy man? Alright, that solves that stupid issue. Whatever that was. Alright, so what I'm going to attempt to do is say, I'm going to spawn an object that's going to spawn at the position where I last was instead. So that's going to happen here, inside of here. So instead of like this X position, Y position thing, or one of the options, I guess, is going to be same position. Let's go ahead and check that out. Movement data. That's not in movement data. That's in spawn data. That's in object spawn phase spawn data. Object spawn phase spawn data. So let me go ahead and make a Y position type. Only because this is strictly right and left and not top and bottom or something. Y position type. I'll have a screen top, which will be by default screen bottom, screen both, random, and manual, and then of course also now there's going to be same as self. Yeah, that makes sense. Manual and self, or like copy self. I don't know. And then we're going to have a Y position type. Y position type. And also, did I really write X? Okay. And also this random weight thing. So this is going to be Y position random top weight. Okay, so I need Y position type and Y pos weight. Y weight is Y weight. Y weight. Now let's incorporate this into the drawer here. So this is just going to have to get this section with Y position is just going to get more sophisticated like this one. So I'm just going to copy this and do like else if manual. Push label with, that's going to be in the else statement. Just going to push that all in here and bring the if statement in there. Oh, this is actually else if, so that'll be that. And of course, this is going to be Y position type, Y position type, Y position type, screen both random. Let's say Y position type. This is going to be Y. This is not right random weight. This is top random weight. Replace all those. Okay. Same here. Determines percentage chance of choosing the top versus the bottom. Okay, else if Y position type is Y position type manual, YX, okay. So that's now in there. Although the other ones aren't implemented yet. So the one that I had at the top is now, well, that's good. It's set to screen top. Which one is this? Possible to test A spawning this guy at the top. So instead of top, I'm going to do self and self. Now I'm going to have to actually incorporate that into the spawn system. It's happening here. So if spawn when off screen does not equal null, figuring out the X position type first. Now I'll do the same thing with the Y position type. So like that, and this part is really just this part. Flip movement X. It's going to be there, however, it's not going to be implemented. This is going to be Y. Y position type. Let's go ahead and do that. Y position type. 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 Y. This is screen top. Screen top. Screen top. Screen bottom. Bottom. X position. Y position type. Y type on type. Alright, this will be world size.y. This will be position.y. Flip movement y. And we're good, I think. Y position random, top weight. Good. I'm going to have to incorporate into this flip movement Y, but nothing will actually happen here. Flip movement Y, add it to this guy. Just want to push it through the entire pipeline of spawning, so that the only thing left to do in the end, when I realize that something is actually really broken, is actually implemented. So now I do need the object spawner. So probably need level, where's level event? Event tracker, that's what it is. Let's jump down here and use spawn data to flip movement Y. And it's going to complain because I didn't do that yet. Spawn flip movement Y. This false. there. Flip spawn phase movements X, and spawn dot spawn. Spawn flip Y, flip spawn flip Y, spawn dot flip Y. Right, and this is where we're just gonna crash probably. Flip spawn phase movement error. Did not implement flip movement Y in objects. That's good enough. Should still work. The self thing didn't do anything though. Where are we having an error? Flip spawn phase movements. Why did I not call them movements? Okay. I take advantage of Unity's really slow recompile and to actually take sips of coffee. It's nice. It's like a mini meditation Zen moment, you know. Just, yeah. Alrighty. Where are we at then? So now we're back at, I need to get back to object spawn movement and just spawn it at my current position. Right, so we got if, else if, else if, spawn when off screen, X position type equals self, literally spawn position X equals transform by position X. And again, same thing for Y. Cool. So let's see it happen, I guess. Alright, so this guy's gonna go off screen and spawn the other missile at the exact same position. If I don't fuck it up. Jump off here. Oop. Okay, just let myself fall there. Alright, make it happen. Kind of want to, well, yeah, I actually just want to see it. Otherwise, the debugger is going to like take too long to get back to Unity, and then I won't see it. Let's get this guy selected here. So the way that I know that I'm off screen, what's the way that I even know that I'm off screen? I guess I use the, like I say that it has to have a box collider, right? I think that's what I did. Bounds is, yeah, box collider. Like if you don't have a box collider, it's not gonna work. It's probably gonna crash. Yeah, then it's never gonna do anything if you don't have a box collider. But whatever. All right, so box collider's off screen. Let's see what we got. Should take 1 second. I don't know how long 1 second is in frames when they're like each at max delta. So that also means that I can probably lower the off-screen time. By a lot. Holy cow. Alright. Still going to the moon. Oh, there it is. And he's coming down. There it is. It's not a bad approximation of where it should enter, actually. Nice. Kinda super happy with that. Let me just make it so it goes off screen for way less of the time, like do like 0.1 seconds, just so we can go off screen a little bit. Fuck, of course, I have to not fuck it up, right? There it goes off screen, 0.1 seconds, and there it comes back in screen. At roughly the same position, actually. It's almost too close to the same position. I don't know, though. I don't know. I want to take a look at it now without the editor, and let's maximize it. And not fuck it up. Goes, comes back. That's not bad at all. I dig it. And now we just have to make it explode when it hits its target, which again is topic for another stream, because that's gonna get pretty involved, I think. Figuring out a coordinate mapping from the 3D space to the 2D space, and then seeing if it collides. Because it's definitely not going, like, because where the 3D object is right now, like, even if I could do just a rectangle box intersection with this thing having a rectangular box collider and this guy having like a pill collider, a cube collider or something, I could probably give him a 2D box collider, honestly. But, so even if I could do that, I'd have to flatten it because they're a totally different, unless that just works in 2D. Is that gonna work? Hold on a second. I might have just realized something. All right, let's give him a box collider. And then this will be the thing that's the actual target. Busy man, let's get over here. Dude, this is actually gonna be kind of cool if it works. So he has a giant cube, which is totally unnecessary. That was for a different game. It's not a cube, sorry. So what I'm going to do is just give him a 2D rigid body instead. So let's just kill this, kill that. Rigid body 2D, and make him fall under 2D physics. Kinematic, continuous, that's fine. And then we'll add a box collider 2D to him. So he just happens to have a little box collider now. So let's offset it and make it bigger. Make it smaller on the X. Taller on the Y. And that'll be this guy's box collider. And that's pretty cool. So if that just works, then we're kind of okay. Unless we need to do anything fancier. Might not even need a coordinate mapping. I feel like we will anyway, but maybe we won't. So if 2D collision works the way I think, which it should not care about Z positions. Then this should work totally fine. Okay, so now he has a 2D box collider. Now what do I want to happen? When this missile collides with this guy, it should explode. Should he be a trigger? I think the missile... let's find it. Boss missile test, add a prefab. What do we got here? We have got, it is a trigger. So I guess I'll just make a quick boss script. Boss 1 main. I don't know if I need to call it main, but and what I want is to just get some on collision, on trigger enters actually. So let's see if we can do that. On trigger enter 2D. Pretty sure I made this guy required to be. No, he doesn't. He'll need some behavior time. And he'll work off this behavior time. Okay. Public override void update. Give him an update script. And on trigger enter 2D, I just want to log something. Things are colliding. And maybe like a bullet passing through him will also trigger that. If it doesn't, let's see if he does have his box collider and all that stuff. He's not a trigger, but the bullet should be. Right, if I shoot a bullet. Oh, sorry. Alright, these things are triggers. So they're not triggering with his box collider right now. I don't have anything in physics that would... Oh, unless when I created these layers, I didn't add it to the physics thing. Where is that? Physics 2D. Oh, 3D effects collides with 3D effects. It collides with everything. Unless the bullets... I don't think I added any raycast masking. Because the bullets aren't raycasts. They're also just colliders. This should work like this. That should definitely trigger the on trigger enter. And when that thing goes off screen, it's just not going to do anything anymore. It's just going to go continuously forever. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Boss 1 main. That's pretty smart. And things are colliding. There they are. Okay. So we're kind of good there. I'll go above them. Well, let me clear the log. And go like here. That's colliding? Like, I don't really know the extent of his box collider. Oh, right. So we are going to have to do this, right? Because this is where he is in 3D space. And where he is in 3D space is not where he actually is in 2D space. So that's the problem with this whole thing. Is so even the targeting system, it's like only kind of working correctly. Because the actual position is here. It just kind of works out that this 3D guy, his positioning is offset by his feet, and that's kind of the center of this 2D projection of the 3D model, which it just kind of lines up with the center. And so the missile was actually targeting this position in 3D space and trying to get here, and it looked like it was targeting the center of the 2D. So this is going to have to get mapped out. So let's say I have a target in 3D space. I have to look, is the target on the layer 3D effects, I guess, and then map that position up into 2D space, right? Where is that on the actual texture when it creates it? Because that'll be here, what the 3D camera sees versus where it's output the 3D onto the 3D canvas, right here. So where in this, based on what this camera sees, that's probably how I'm going to map it. So I have the 3D camera seeing something, right? It's seeing the guy here. You can't really see him. It's kind of like behind shit. There he is in 3D space, right? This is the 3D guy. And there's the 2D image of the 3D guy right behind him. So I'm going to take the 3D camera, find out where he is pretty much like in the 3D camera space, and that should map to a coordinate here. And then I can't just do box colliders because, I mean, I can create a box collider at that exact, I can create an object that's supposed to represent him at that position in 2D space and say that it's box collider, and just put a box collider on it and give it a script that says this is supposed to represent the damage being taken for this boss, kind of a thing. So a lot of little tricks like that I'll have to work out. But overall, it doesn't sound too crazy, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to do. I'm going to go ahead and say this was done. Spawn same missile with a target to direct it, right? So that's totally. Why can I not type? What is happening? What? Am I typing in the other file still? What is happening? Why can I not type in? Oh, now I can. That was really weird. All right. Good old Visual Studio. That's just gonna be a thing that's kind of dangling. If you know the following, conditional if following kind of looks lame or unconvincing. I guess that would be what would constitute as lame. Can you stop tabbing over? Okay. So, map 3D camera space to 2D canvas space that's projecting the 3D camera image. Maybe create a box collider in 2D space at that position. For the missiles to collide with. So that'll be funny. Kind of outside we're transitioning away from all this missile BS, and getting into the good stuff. I don't know. I'm just kind of over all this missile stuff. That's all. It's not really any good, it's not better stuff or worse stuff. It's just not missile stuff, and I'm just tired of doing missile stuff. Okay, cool. Thanks, folks, for taking the time. Anybody who took the time anybody who decided to take the time to watch this, much appreciated. I'm just gonna kind of leave it here with the spinning targeting missile. There it goes. Boom. Well, not boom, but it's all good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'll just leave it there with some music for a few seconds and then end the stream. Take it easy, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.